Recently, I've been doing a lot of XP grinding at the Enderman farm, and I've realised it's not actually the most optimal design and can in fact be improved quite a lot to be much more efficient. This is of course our simple Enderman farm that we built in a previous episode, and this uses a trapped Endermite. The card will be on screen now for the tutorial on that, or the episode that I did that in. And in today's episode, which is of course episode 51 of the Minecraft Handbook, we are going to be making it an extremely efficient Enderman farm. And we're going to be doing this by moving the spawn island, or the spawn platform that we built, even further away from the XP grinding zone, the part where we kill the Enderman. So yeah, let's get into this video. So because of the distance between entity spawning and where we are, the Enderman cannot respawn until we're past this trapdoor, and so if we clear all of these out, then these won't respawn until we re-enter the main part of this base. So just to clarify, this means that no more Endermen can spawn. So now that we've set ourselves up with an area where the Enderman cannot spawn for a second, what we're going to be going to do is removing the flooring from underneath the Enderman and some of the walling next to the path up to it. And we're going to be putting in some hopper systems. Now the reason for this is because when we're normally killing all the Endermen, they're dropping tons and tons of ender pearls. Obviously we have looting free, so it increases the amount, and this means tons of entities, or the ender pearls, are being spewed out all over the floor. What we're going to do is clear those up. We don't want any of them to be going in our inventories. That can be quite annoying to have to clear out constantly. And what we could introduce is a chest system. Now we're not going to be building the chest system right now, but because we've got these Endermen out of the way and they won't be able to spawn for a second, it's quite useful to throw in the kind of infrastructure for that design that we'll be working on later on whilst we're doing it, rather than having to take it all apart again and redo it. So if we feed in all of these hoppers underneath, then we can also pipe them either into the chests, or if say we don't have any chest space or we don't want to store them in the chests, then we can pipe them into a dispenser or dropper system that automatically throws them into the void to get rid of them. So that's going to be super useful, and then we can move on to the next bits. Right, and so we've got to the other side. Obviously that's where our Endermite lives, in that little minecart, and we've come through to the platform. Now I've covered it in leaves, just in the event that for some reason the game messes up and it decides to start trying to spawn Endermen over here, even though it can only spawn them when we're from the 24 distance, I don't know what, but it should be when we're at the trapdoor that they can spawn, but I've put these in here just as a precaution. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to remove all of the sides to this island, and then we're going to have to make this pathway all leaves, just to make sure that the Endermen are spawning at the right area. And so we've removed the platform, we've also started to build out the new one. So I built out these leaves so that there should be a, I think, 11 block gap in the middle, and I'm going to put this as 5 wide. I think before it was actually, well, deep rather, but I think before it was only 4. I want this to be slightly wider, or deeper rather, because I'm thinking that this might increase the probability of the Enderman spawning. I really want to kind of reach that mob cap, as it were, because I think that if we maximise on the number of Endermen, okay, it might take longer for them to pathfind still, but you know, as long as we get them spawning at the fastest rate, then it will mean that we can kill them quicker and get XP quicker. So this build is entirely about efficiency, and one of the things I was thinking about is, if we want this to be really efficient, what we should be building is a beacon to give ourselves some strength. At least I think you can get strength. So yeah, that will be something we do next. So this should be all in place now. The Endermen will spawn on this platform, but only when we're far enough in that direction. They'll see that Endermite in the minecart. If we grab this stuff, we can head over there in that direction, and I can show you guys, just in case you didn't see the first one. So if we go up here, there's an Endermite in this minecart. Oh god, that's a lot of Endermen. And as you can see, they all kind of race into this thing, and oh, that's noisy. That's very noisy. But theoretically, once I turn my game sounds down, all these guys should flood into there. I can keep hitting them, and they'll keep flooding whilst I'm hitting them, rather than me having to walk all the way back out here in order to get them to respawn. But as I say, it's not the most efficient design yet, because of course we need to implement ourselves a beacon. So as always, I'm going to be building a beacon of base 9, so 9 by 9 at the bottom, and then we get the full size and get the full range of effects at their maximum capacity. Now this does mean that the beacon is more extensible in future, which is an awesome thing to be able to do, because then you can have multiple status effects all at once. I'm just going to stick with the singular one for now, but you know, it's nice to have the option to expand. Now, as I kind of mentioned before, what we're going to be doing is getting strength, and the reason I want to do that is because then it will take less hits to kill the Enderman, which will be super useful in the long run. Now, before we actually go on top and finish this beacon off, we're going to throw in some leaves. And the reason I'm doing this is because otherwise when we're coming into this Enderman farm, it's going to spawn tons of Enderman in this base. Or at least maybe it wouldn't, because of course this is only too high. But I'm going to throw it in anyway, just in case the game ever changes and it wants to, you know, spawn new mobs in the end, other than just like the Enderman, you know, naturally. Of course, obviously we've got the Endermite to spawn in here, but we did that ourselves. Oh, let's not fall down the water stream. And do we have enough? I don't even think we have enough leaves. Okay, maybe we'll have to finish that off at some other point. But yeah, let's come up here with our iron, and whereabouts is the middle of this? That looks like an edge case, so actually no. It's here. Okay, so that goes in there. Then we've just got to put this across here like this. There we go. Put that on top. Right, then I think we've got a water bucket in our shulker boxes. That would be kind of useful. Let's grab ourselves a piece of iron. And there we go. I probably should have brought a diamond, as I think it actually gets affected. I can't ever remember these things. But I don't know if it's a transparent block either, hence why I'm doing that. Let's go strength 2, then put in the iron. There we go. Right, let's just put a block in there for now. And then let's come down here. And yeah, I will sort it out at some point. But this should mean that we, as you can see in the top corner, we now have strength. And if we let's turn our game sounds down real quick. Yeah, if we come over here, we can now attack all of these Endermen, and it should just produce like a constant flow without us having to. There we go. Yeah, because before we were having to run all the way back to here for them to respawn. Now I can just sit here and AFK and just click at these, which is very nice for our XP. And of course, we do have the ender pearls that are suddenly flowing into our inventory, but the majority of them are being collected by these hoppers. So the hopper system I will sort out at a later point, but I think that's an entirely different episode. So thank you guys very much for watching. As I say off camera, I'll fix these. I hope you've enjoyed. See you in the next one.